Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, and welcome to NerdTube. We're doing a spontaneous live trailer reaction to Umbrella Academy Season 3. I'm here with Reverend Jake. How you doing, mate?
Doing great as always. Super excited for this.
Fantastic. Me too, mate. Let's just quickly watch the trailer, react to it, and then we'll talk about our thoughts of this trailer as well as Umbrella Academy as a whole. Let's go. Definitely looks like they're going down the fun route for sure. And I very much appreciate that. If this is the final season, which I heard the rumors that it might be, then yeah, go out with a bang and let's have some fun. I think the last, I wouldn't necessarily say season two, but sometimes this show can be a little bit too serious, and really, I think it needs to let loose a little bit and let's have a good time. You've got some interesting characters, interesting powers. So yeah. Before we break this trailer down, we were talking backstage earlier regarding this, and I was mocking this show a little bit in our comment section, and I was calling it Police Academy, Barbarella Academy, and stuff like that. And so Jake was wondering if I actually like the show, and I do. I genuinely do. Like, I've watched the first two seasons. I'm very much looking forward to this. I'm very happy that there is a third season, simply because this is Netflix, and you never know with Netflix shows. They don't really advertise their shit too much, and sometimes popular stuff just gets left on the wayside, and they move on to the next thing. So I'm happy they're doing this. It does feel like a long time coming, and I can't wait to bring it on. And there are certain things, Jake, regarding this trailer. Um, let's let's get this playback speed down.
Yeah, I have to say I liked the first season. Second season started strong. I wasn't that big into the end of it or into the end of the second season. I don't like the chick who can duplicate powers. I just think it's a dumb gimmick. Um, but I'm interested to see how they use her this season. We'll see how it goes. I think this season's going to be better than last. I don't think it'll be the last though. That can be definitely a separate conversation. But just from the little bit of digging I did into the comics, I think we got one more season, maybe two.
What's the name of this guy again? I forget, this Professor X type of
Hard
guy.
reads
Yeah,
something
he's an
hard.
alien, isn't he?
Yeah, he's an alien.
Yeah, because we kind of got a hint of it in the first step in the first season, a very small hint, but a hint nevertheless.
Yeah,
And then when they did the time travel episode, sorry, the scenario last season, there was that moment where he takes his face off,
yeah,
and he ends up killing all those people because they were going to expose him or something along those lines. But yeah, here he is now, and it'll be interesting to see where they come. Now, even though I do like this show, because this show hasn't left a mark on me to a degree, I've pretty much forgotten everyone's names. Well, I know this guy's like he's like the badass. Um, this guy here, with the box beard
Diego.
and the hair, Diego. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a bit like if these guys were Ninja Turtles, he'd be Raphael.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. No, he definitely has the Raphael profile.
yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
Wants to be a
Now,
badass on his own terms and forget anyone else's ideas.
now this dude here, the junkie, um,
X. He
is
cleans
that
up.
his name?
Yeah, I think he cleans up at the end of season two or season one. One of them.
Yeah, and he's a very free spirit. Will fuck anything on two legs.
Especially
He's
himself.
yeah, and I like him. I like his character a lot. But now he's back in this particular. Yeah, I mean, he can see dead people pretty much, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it does anything. I always wondered, like, what does your superpower do? Yeah, you see dead people, but you never really took advantage of that. Like, what the fuck does that do? You
Well,
know?
so there's that one scene at the beginning of season two, and it's my favorite scene in the entire series, really, where they're fighting against the Russians, with the Russians invade
Mm-hmm.
the West Coast in that alternate timeline, and they're all using all their powers. And apparently, he summons an army of the dead to fight for them, kind of like how they do it in Return of the King.
Yeah. I get yeah. I
So
remember that.
eventually, that's his ability when it becomes fully actualized. But because his training went so poorly. He's terrified to use it and doesn't really know how to use it, and really he's just haunted.
And that's why he was getting high all the fucking time, because when he does his drugs, it subdues his powers.
Yeah. That's his whole character arc. Yeah, I'd like to see them actualize it a little bit more. They did with when he made Ben materialize and fight at the end of season 1, I think it was. So the paper or the groundwork is there for it to happen, but we'll see if they actually use it. It is underutilized. I will agree there.
Now this kid here is the teleporter kid. He's actually not a kid. He's actually very old. I remember that. But because of the time traveling shenanigans, he ends up becoming a child again. But he's like 58 years old, isn't he?
Yeah, something like that.
I like I'll be honest with you. I'm surprised he still looks as young as he does. You know, there is a massive gap between the seasons, and the way he looks there is kind of remarkable. This kid's going to be big, by the way. He's going to be a big actor, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree. His acting is phenomenal. He's got a huge career ahead of him. I have to wonder if they aged him a little bit because, like you said, he still looks the same age as he did in season 1. And I'm sure part of that's hair and the clothes and some trick of, Hollywood camera magic. But
okay, we're back with this guy again. Now, I think he's mentioned to them. Okay, now there's Elliot Page there. I think they're gonna this is very early. We see two different versions of him. So here he is still looking like this, but he does end up cutting his hair. Do forgive me, everyone out there. I'm not trying to be difficult here. I understand. Elliot's a transgendered man. So I'm just slipping the tongue here. I do apologize if I'm causing offense. But next to Elliot is his sister.
Yeah,
and her power is that I know a secret or some shit like that. She'll whisper something in your ear. I love that power. It's a really good power. We'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, I think the rumor power is really good.
Rumor, yeah, I know a rumor. That's it. Yeah.
I think you can do some interesting stuff with it. And as far as Vanya goes, I think we're skipping a little ahead in the trailer here, but I think that they are going to transform in the season as well. And my understanding is they are going to go by Victor in the second part of the season.
Okay, so the time travel changes her physicality into a man.
I don't know if it's a time travel or not. I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
I hope not really. Just to talk a little bit about that. I think that it would be a better representation for the community if they made the choice themselves. And so I think that's an important writing decision, that it has to be Vanya's decision to become Victor. But like I said, I don't know how they're going to handle it, and I think they're going to do it well, though, considering the fact that Elliot is still on board with the project. That would mean that that Elliot approves of the script and how they made the change. So I think that's going to be pretty good.
Well, this is how season 2 ended. They get back to their timeline. Obviously, with Hargreaves, he said, knowing about his kids, he decided to induct a different bunch of people into his academy. No longer called it the Sparrow Academy, Umbrella Academy, called it the Sparrow Academy. So these lot here, they never got inducted. So we then see the new group, and let's pause it there.
So this is a shot from season 2, and I noticed from watching the trailer, the cube is green in this shot, and in all of the other shots, the cube is red. So I don't know if the cube's going to change colors or what. But I'll say it's probably the character I'm most interested in. The fact that the character is a cube.
It's a cube. Yeah. I like that.
Like, was it born a cube? Did it turn into a cube? I absolutely need to know this stuff. But I don't want to spoil myself, so I didn't look too far into the comics on it. But I just what the hell? The character's a cube.
Yeah, me too. I was pretty smitten by that too. I did like that. And here's all the other members of the academy. Excuse me. And it's good to see them all there. I'm sure some of them have similar powers to our original members. I'm sure some of them have unique powers as well. But there is one person missing from this group, and hopefully we'll see him in a second, and that's Ben, who was part of the original group as well. But because of the alternative timeline, Ben is now alive, not dead.
Yeah.
And Hargreaves didn't know about Ben because Ben was dead. So he's the only one who gets recruited again, so to speak. But he managed to stay alive, and he looks pissed. He really does. So
yeah, like you're saying, this guy's an asshole. So it sounds like the whole group of them are. I think, and I think this is kind of the meat of what I'm getting out of this trailer is that Hargreaves, apparently his parenting style was very different with the second group than it was with the first. But the thing is, and it's kind of skipping to my end thoughts here real quick, is that I think there's still going to be some problems because Hargreaves was a terrible parent, and I don't think he became a better one. He just became a different one.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll get into that.
Okay, so here we go on Netflix. Oh, the Sparrows. Got a little stopwatch there. There's Hargreaves. And there's our is that our cue?
I don't think so.
Changing form.
Maybe.
And then look, there's Elliot now with more recent look.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the paradox that they're in and stuff like that has changed Vanya to Victor, as you say. I would like that if that was the case, like time traveling shenanigans. Or maybe they're going to merge art with life here, and I don't know. Or maybe the fact that she, Vanya cut her hair, and now she looks like this. You know what I mean? It could just be as simple as that.
Yeah,
you think differently.
I think this is Victor. I don't really want to get into why. I mean,
something I don't.
I think it looks a lot more like a guy. If we go back to just that last shot where it's Vanya, you can see there's more of a feminine frame. It really looks, like a girl. I think there's an emphasis on being post-op. To kind of talk about. If you look at the last photo we were just at, it looks very.
Is this from season 2? Then what you're saying, what we're looking at now?
This shot, no, I don't think so. I think the beginning of the season, it's going to be Vanya, and they're going to make a transformation of their own choice partway through the season. I don't know how it's going to play out. I mean, I don't know anything about that, but I think, given what I know of the LGBT community, which is huge out here in Seattle, it would be very much. It would be looked upon a lot better if she made the choice rather than having it happen by accident.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, that makes a lot more sense.
So I think that's the only thing that I feel for sure is it's going to be their choice. And I'm trying to just keep it gender neutral for they, since we're talking about both.
Yeah.
So I'm just like they. Yeah. So I think that as long as it's their option, I think it's going to be perceived better. And so I think that's what they're going to do. And considering that they wanted to stay on board with the project, it's going to be something they approve of.
I'll be honest with you. The whole time when Elliot was going through his transition, I was just thinking to myself, Umbrella Academy season. I was genuinely thinking, shit, how is this going to affect Umbrella Academy season 3? I really hope that still happens now. Are they going to recast? I mean, what the hell? But,
that was my thought too. Is like, are they going to recast? Are they going to do a transition for the character as well? And then, I remember reading, because I was concerned about this. So I read somewhere that they're going to do a transition and it'll be Victor. That way it stays with a Russian name.
Well, it's good to see this kid finally get out of that school uniform, for fuck's sake,
right?
Absolutely ridiculous, yeah.
Oh, this scene was great. Is this the...
Yeah.
Oh.
So we've got some light here. This is the paradox maybe happening, like the destruction of their timeline.
I think they're going to jump around in a couple of timelines because there's that one thing where it's like not enough timeline.
Oh, look
It's
at
part
that.
of
That's
the
Raiders. That's Raiders of the Lost Ark opening up the fucking arc right there, isn't
yeah.
it? You
Wait,
know what I mean? That's what I'm seeing right now.
well, see, I'm thinking that's dude summoning those. I can't think of his name. The
Oh,
carefree
well,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't think
Yeah,
of his name
possibly.
offhand. He's the only name I can't pull out of my head.
Okie dokie. Oh, there he is. Yeah. I guess so.
Klaus.
Klaus, yes. Oh boy. Oh, there's the cube, and it's now red.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
it's
so
got tentacles coming out of it, I think.
wait,
Are
what?
those tentacles coming from the cube?
I think those are Ben's.
Oh, Ben. Yeah. Was that his power? Originally.
Yeah, he like
okay.
opens up his shirt and like a whole bunch of weird tentacles come out and mangle everybody.
Yeah. And that's not going to change, is it? So yeah.
No.
Yeah. Look at this. She's got a sparrows coming out of her.
And my understanding is that's where the Sparrow Academy gets its name is because of her.
Uh-huh. This looks like very early on in the episode where they jump in. So it feels like episode 1. Still, you know, just after they time traveled in.
Yeah.
Netflix series. This is like they're regrouping, getting their shit together. They just survived the incident. Her nose is still a bit bloody there.
Yeah.
Oh, look, here we go. There's his tentacles. Oh, nice right hand from the kid. There's Diego there. Oh, this is Diego's counterpart, in my opinion.
Okay.
Is that Diego, by the way? There.
I think so.
And sorry.
That must be Luther's counterpart there.
Yeah. I was just looking at Luther here. But look, he's scarred. British actor, by the way, Luther. Seen him in a few things.
Huh.
Yeah, he was in Black Sails, if you ever saw that.
No.
Pirate drama. But yeah, I can see all the scars on him and stuff like that. So he's been part of the fight. He looks a bit slender than before, by the way. Yeah. He doesn't look as hench as he used to.
Yeah, he doesn't have the gorilla body.
Yeah, it's not as bulging, if you know what I mean.
Well, yeah,
but yeah,
because it's like he got his original body back somehow.
I feel like it's a bit of a hybrid. I still think he's got like a gorilla-ish body, but it's not as big as it once was. But he's fighting this dude here, and this dude seems to be his counterpart to a degree, or as close as it can be. Maybe he's a good fighter. Or he fucking does an uppercut that most people from Mortal Kombat would be proud of. I mean, look, he's taking him off his fucking feet. You know, that's remarkable. But once again, I still feel that this scene here is from the first episode after they've time traveled in and they're having that ruckus with their counterparts. So it's pretty much they'll lose that first fight, and then maybe at some point they'll have another fight, maybe a second fight, maybe a third fight, but they'll definitely lose this first fight, which is in the opening act, in my opinion.
He's flying right there. I think Hargreaves sicks the Sparrow Academy on the Umbrella Academy is all like, you guys aren't supposed to be here, and then just has them attempt to kill him. And I think that's the initial conflict, though I think they'll be working together by the end. Because that's the way this shit always works. They punch for a bit and then they're mates.
And then they end up going up against Hargreaves, who ends up being the ultimate villain. But this paradox thing, which seems to be taking over the Earth, seems to be something they have to deal with as well. I mean, look at that dog. It's fucking. It's been Thanos. And what I noticed, actually, I'll go back there. What I noticed is that this thing is destroying living matter because this office is still the same.
Well,
so maybe certain things survive.
I have a feeling that what they're talking about in here, in here, as far as like, well, I forget what they call it, some weird goofy name, but I think it's the concept that these two timelines are merging back in together, and only one of them is going to exist. The other one's going to get winked out of existence, kind of like what they were talking about in Doctor Strange with the multiverses. You know, what happens if the multiverses converge? I think it's going to be the same concept.
Do you think this guy is some sort of shapeshifter?
Maybe.
Like a clay face.
Yeah.
That's the sort of vibe I'm getting from him, but I don't know yet. But you mentioned regarding existence.
Dick Tracy.
You mentioned existence because just because these people are the new Academy graduates doesn't mean that they never existed. You know, they still existed. They just didn't become part of Umbrella Academy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's true. But I think like the two, when the timelines merge, there's two of you, one from each timeline, and that's causing one version of them to disappear.
It looks like they're ganging up on someone. And there's Vanya. This is Vanya before Victor.
Yep.
And I think this is the scene where Vanya mentions that she has destroyed the world twice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, you're not on my level. If this is Vanya's counterpart. That's a great scene, by the way.
So I think this is them in that same fight you've been talking about at the beginning, because she still had her long hair and she was about to use her power.
Yeah, look, he's doubting himself there with that look.
Now, this conversation right here where she's got the long hair, I think this is the conversation where she's going to talk about wanting to make the switch, because she has a very serious look on her face, and I expect it to happen early in the season. That's my wild prediction, based solely on the look on her face and the conversation that she's having.
By the way, this oh, sorry, let's go back a bit. This looks like this is going to be their base, the Hotel Obsidian, in my opinion. Because then you get into this next shot here, and Wonder Lad, he's just chilling in the bathrobe and all of that. He reminds me of Jason Bateman. It's something, he's got very Jason Bateman. I've been watching Ozark, so he's just reminded me of him. Anyways, so they're having Chinese food. He's telling them some shit.
Email address is going to be records.
Okay.
S@TRU.
So they probably learned something. Or is this where you talk about the paradox?
Yeah. Well, this is where he suggests having sex with yourself. Which?
Oh yeah.
You know what? I don't swing that way, but I still might.
Well, it depends really. Like if we've both seen Loki. You know what I mean? And,
yeah.
If my female self looked half as good as Loki's female self did, I might be tempted. But and then they'll be bringing a new term to go fuck yourself,
Yeah.
There's Diego in that fight earlier. Oh, he's having a fight with Clayface there, and there is Ben. In the Matrix simulation there.
Yeah. Right.
There's Klaus. He's doing his best Klaus impersonation right now.
Right. I was going to say he's doing his best Jack Sparrow impersonation.
Yeah. There's Diego having more fights, man. It's just fights.
That's like all he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said, Raphael.
Yeah. He's a vigilante through and through. So once again, this is at the beginning, I feel.
Yeah.
Too many siblings, yes. Well, they're not, related to each other. That's why, what's his name? Is it Luther and Rumor Girl?
Yeah.
Why they got the hots for each other, dude. I hope they. You think they'll pay that off and they'll end up.
There was that not enough timeline. Sorry, let me cut you there, but
sorry. Let me go back.
It was the not enough timeline, and I think that means that they're going to loop through a couple of different times. I think there's going to be like some time.
Okay. But you think Luther and Rumor Girl are going to pay off finally because they they never become a couple.
No, I don't think that'll happen until the end. It's Jim and Pam from The Office, and it doesn't matter if you're talking UK Office, American Office. They don't get together because if they get together, the entire premise of the show, their character arc ends, and you don't want to end their character arc when you still want to do more seasons. So I don't think they get together until the very end.
You don't think this is the final season?
No, I think there's going to be one more.
Interesting.
Because there's supposed to be some. Because my understanding is the most recent book that was out is like some hotel on the edge of the world, and I don't see that happening in this season. And I think they're going to stretch it out. I think we get
at the edge of the
4 or
world.
5.
Interesting.
I'd have to re-look it up. But when I watched season 2, I went kind of nuts and I looked up how many books there are in the comics, and just kind of get an idea of where the story might go. And apparently, there's a lot of stuff that they skipped over. They can still bring in, as well as at least 2 more books. Or I think we got 1 or 2 more seasons.
Now, Klaus, when he was because of his time traveling, he ended up in Vietnam, fell in love with that dude and stuff like that. But then when he went further back in time, and knowing that dude would end up being killed in Vietnam, he tried to stop him from joining and enlisting. Now, I'm not sure if there's if any of those sort of shenanigans regarding time traveling is to do with this young lad here. Is he doing something similar with this young lad, trying to stop him from doing something and all of that? Is this young lad maybe would end up being his lover in a different timeline? I don't know. It's all very confusing. Just throwing that out there. Okay, here we go. Little fucking, I like that. Yeah, equal rights right there. All right. Oh, here we go. Both of them have got the arc reactor in their chest.
So this is a later shot because it's Victor.
Yeah. And it's interesting to see like how this is panning out, because she seems to be the same as Victor.
Well, that's the chick from season 2 who can copy powers.
Oh yes. I keep forgetting.
Yeah,
I keep.
I understand why you'd forget. It was a terrible idea. I think it's a stupid trope in superhero shows or whatever. Oh, I just copied the exact same powers as the other person, and I don't like it. I think it's boring. It's kind of like when the villain has the same backstory and the same powers as the hero.
Yeah.
So we'll see how they use it, but I hated it last season. It was the worst part of last season. It ruined the end for me. So.
Oh boy. Is that a nun fucking shooting flames out of her hand?
Is that one of their powers? Is that the same chick that gets bashed in the back of the head by 5?
I don't know. Look, it looks like a nun, doesn't it, from this angle?
She's got like some sort of a habit.
Is that Mother?
No, I
No.
don't think so.
I would like to see if Mother's in this, by the way.
She's somewhere in the trailers. She's in there. They have like a quick shot of her.
And there's what's her face falling backwards. Oh, some pulsating shit going on there. Looks like they time warped. Yes.
I think it's in this next bit where they show her. I remember seeing her face.
I like there's this little sparrow on the number 3. Now we go straight into
the
fucking Andy Serkis. Go to Andy Serkis here. If people have seen Planet of the Apes movies, don't know what I mean.
Oh yeah. Pogo, that's his name. He had.
Look at him. He's a fucking biker now. He's
Yeah.
a fucking biker, and he's smoking his fucking cigar, and he's a tattoo artist, and he's got tattoos of his own.
Yeah, and that's so different because he's a philosopher in the other one.
I wonder if he still got that. If he will still sound eloquent, even though he looks like that. It'll be interesting to see how they make him sound. But he's 180s, man. Totally.
Yeah.
And there's Klaus talking about spoilers, and we're done.
So to go back to Pogo for a second, he's got such a prolific in the first season. I actually wrote this down, and in 5 seconds here was able to pull it up because I keep it by me. One grows used to things, even if sometimes one shouldn't. And that kind of a thought coming from him is such a different character than who we're looking at right now. And I'm super excited for it. I like when they can switch something up with a fastball like this and really make you go, okay, what happened? And it makes me really excited for the show. So I think Pogo is probably one of my most excited things I'm looking forward to this season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just very much just looking forward to what happens next. But it does feel like, okay, you know, we tried to rectify everything, but we fucked things up even more, and then boom, time travel, and it just feels like that. It's been like that for the last couple of episodes.
Yeah.
So last couple of seasons. So I want to see if time travel plays a prominent part to how this season resolves itself, which I hope it doesn't. To tell you the truth, I really want them to not use that as their fix at the end of the season. In my opinion,
as far as that goes, I'm pretty sure I saw 3 or 4 different what I'll call time bubbles of them jumping in time throughout that trailer. There's like 3 or 4 different shots of
yeah.
that. And so I think the time is going to play into it. However, I don't think they're going to fix it, because that's one thing with this show is they don't fix anything. They are never successful in fixing anything that they've set out to do. And that's kind of the motif. It's how Ben dies. It's how she loses her kid. All of this terrible stuff happens because they're all a bunch of screw-ups. And so the closest that they get to fixing anything is when they reset the timeline, but then we are in a completely different timeline, and who knows if that fixed anything. They didn't.
Yeah, well, I know about there is time traveling in this, and they jump. But regarding the end, the very end, I just don't want them to do another time travel thing. You know, they went back in the past in season 1. They went back to the present in season 2. Are they going to go back to the future in season 3? I mean, is that how it's going to work?
So
I don't want that. Yeah.
Well, so from my understanding, is the next book is called like Hotel Oblivion or something like that, and I think that's where they're going to go. They're going to end up at this Hotel Oblivion, which is some sort of hotel in no man's land. It's all I know about it, is the name of it. And then I have a picture in my memory of the cover of the book, which is this hotel in like a nowhere land. So my feeling is that Hotel Oblivion or whatever is going to be like at the edge of time and space. And if they jump anywhere, that's where they're going to jump.
Okay, fair enough. Well, we'll see.
But I see your point, though. Yeah. And them jumping at the end of every season is kind of silly, but it also allows them to reset.
Yeah, it's tropey, though, for my... Yeah. It's like, I just don't want it to feel like, okay, here we go. We're getting ready for another jump. You know what I mean? And we're going to end the season on the cliffhanger where they end up, if they end up anywhere. You know,
well, so I just watch Archer.
Archer?
Yeah, cartoon show.
No. I heard about it, though.
It's super hilarious. It's really raunchy about this spy. And they've been doing this thing for the last, 6 or 7 seasons where every season... Huh?
I thought it was a detective.
Well, so that's the thing. So in every season, they've been kind of reinventing the show. In one of them, he was a detective. And then just kind of been reinventing the show in a different time period or a different setting for these last couple of seasons just to keep things fresh. And I think that can be a trope I can be okay with in Umbrella Academy. At the end of every season, they do some sort of a jump to a new setting that brings new things, and then they keep jumping at the end of every season. I can be okay with that if it's their shtick. And it's a hard line between a trope and a shtick, but I think if it's their shtick, I'm okay with it.
Okay. I mean, once again, like, my thing is like, how do I say it? Like, that they're going to jump at the end of the season. Like, it almost feels like, all right, this is going to happen. And I don't want that inevitability every time I watch a show that we're really building up to that, if you know what I mean. That that anyway. But who knows? Look, we'll see how it pans out. And this is coming out when?
I think June 22nd, if I remember right.
I give Netflix this when they do release a trailer. You know, we don't tend to. Excuse me, tend to wait. I believe is a big end on June 22nd, which is just over a month away, which is ideal, in my opinion. So I'm very much looking forward to this, and hopefully there will be a little bit of a void when it comes to our more regular shows, which are MCU stuff and Star Wars stuff as well. So hopefully this will fill that void before we get into She-Hulk.
Actually, I think this comes out while Kenobi is while
Miss Marvel.
Yeah,
which
will
is
be
fair
at
enough.
the same time.
Which is fair enough.
Yeah,
this is like Ms. Marvel. I think comes out at the beginning of June, and this comes out near the third week of June. So
The Boys will be out too.
Of course. Oh my goodness. It all there's a lot. I love the fucking Boys. I love the fucking it's
gonna be
arguably my favorite show. The Boys is what it is. You know, like for me, that is the ideal show. Now you speak to cousin Cheeto about The Boys, and I hope he's watching right now, and he doesn't like it. It's evil Justice League. We've seen it before. No, we haven't. We haven't seen it before in live action. We haven't seen it before. Fucking hell, man. Go back to Bandcamp. But anyways, nevertheless, I'm very much looking forward to Umbrella Academy. I can't wait for this. I did enjoy the previous seasons. I like that the different characters we get. You know, it's all very good.
I think they're all going to be equally as flawed. I think right now they're making them look badass, but Hargreaves raised them, so they're going to be super flawed.
I want to see more from Hargreaves as well, because he's the ultimate enigma of all of it.
Yeah,
and it'll be interesting to see how he pans out as well, because his character theoretically should be in his 90s now, and sorry,
I think older than that.
Yeah, but being an alien as well, that in itself is a whole mystery in its own right. Like, who the fuck is he really? You know, and that'll be interesting to see.
I think they're going to set him up as a bad guy, and then we're going to find out that he's really a good guy and he's benevolent, but he's just willing to go to extremes and be a dick to get there.
A gray guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think it's going to be at the end of it.
It's going to be subjective if he was a bad guy or a good guy, and those are the best characters in my opinion. So yeah,
to some degree they are, but at the same time, I kind of get sick of that trope, because there are some people out there who just don't give a fuck, and I think that we need to have some villains like that too. It's kind of like they say with the Joker in the Heath Ledger movie. Some people just want to watch the world burn, and I think we need some of those villains, and not every villain has to be this character who you feel for and I see his point. And not every character has to be that. I think it can be a really good villain if you do that, but I think you can also have a really good villain that just wants to kill everyone.
Funny you say that regarding Joker. Just to go on a little tangent here, Joaquin Phoenix Joker wasn't enough of a villain for me. He became too much of a sympathetic character. He would have crossed that line of being a villain if he killed his. And I'm sorry for it's word offends people, but I can't. Right now, I don't give a fuck. If he killed his midget friend, if he killed him, he would have been bad guy. But everyone in his life he killed in that show, had almost a reason to be killed, as far as he was concerned, including his mum. So the one person who was good to him, he should have killed, and then he would have crossed that line into being the villainous Joker that we all knew. But he never did that, and that was the only thing I didn't like. He should have killed him. What I mean? But he was fucking with him, but he never killed him.
He wasn't really a villain. Yeah, he was just a crazy guy.
Yeah, he was a crazy guy who went over the edge. You know what I mean? He wasn't the I want to watch the world burn type of guy, you know. So anyway, all right, Jake, it's been fun talking about this and other stuff as well. I look forward to this show. I know you do as well. And to everyone else out there, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel you never heard of. Take care. Bye bye.